Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We are up close and personal today because we're going to be doing a makeup look. I know that kind of wedding season and graduation season are upon us, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a video on a look for either of these occasions that you can kind of have in your back pocket and you can pull out if you need to. So this is going to be a really photo friendly look and you'll just kind of look like yourself, but a little bit more enhanced and perhaps dramatic depending on how much makeup you wear usually. But it's a really soft, really pretty look, and yeah, so let's get started. Because this is an event kind of look, I would always prime my face, but before doing that, I would go ahead and use moisturizer, and if it's a day event, I would put a SPF underneath. I would definitely test out what SPFs you have to see if there's any flashback, because that is what's going to show up in photos, which if you're not expecting that, ooh, could be a fun little surprise. Also, quickly before I get too far into this tutorial, I want to remind you guys that I have the 500 subscribers giveaway going on over on Instagram. So all you have to do for that is just look for that post and write a comment down below and just tag one friend with a compliment for them. So really, it's super simple. It's running for the next 2 weeks. There's no need to subscribe to any of my medias. If you are not feeling like it, then no worries. Just spread some love, give a little compliment, and you'll be entered. I also think definitely with events, it's not the right time to try out new products. So go with something that you trust and know is going to do what you want it to do. So all the products that I'm using today, I trust. Just a heads up. And that was the Vapour Stratus Soft Focus Primer. This does a great job of keeping my makeup in place all day and kind of reducing overall redness. Next, we're gonna go with some foundation. So you can go one of two ways with this. Actually, you can really do 3 ways, but you can go for a lighter coverage like a CC cream, which usually I'll tend to do on an everyday basis, or you can go for a fuller coverage stick or liquid foundation that you trust. I'm gonna do this today, but if you have great skin already, then I would just recommend either doing something super light or just doing some spot correcting on the areas where you need it. Honestly, natural skin looks best in photos, so if you have beautiful skin, then just go ahead and show it off and enjoy it. So this is actually a Vapour product as well. It's the Vapour Luminous, Atmospheric Luminous Foundation, and this is something new that I've gotten. I'm actually going to have a full review on this next week, so if you're interested in kind of knowing more about this product, just stay tuned for that. But I'm just going to apply it relatively liberally in general areas on my face because I am going for a fuller coverage look, and then I'm going to take a stippling brush and just blend it. Alright, once I feel like that is blended, I'm going to move ahead to concealer, and I'm going to use a liquid concealer because we're going to set everything with a powder. So I am just grabbing my Well People BioCorrect concealer and the tiniest brush you have ever seen, and I'm going to do spot correcting. So this is super precise. It takes frickin' forever, but it is worth it when you look back on photos and you have a really flawless complexion. So I'm just taking the time to kind of dab on the product really lightly where I want it, and then I'm going to go back in and just kind of blend the edges out instead of the actual product itself. And that way the area that I want covered will stay covered, but it will blend seamlessly into our skin. Alright, so once you get kind of the coverage that you want, it's time to go ahead and move on to the eyes. I'm going to be using the Jane Iredale palette that I got a while ago. It's in the color Perfectly Nude, which is kind of perfect for this look. And we're just going to stick with kind of the most natural colors in the palette, and then I'm going to use one other color from a different palette, but we'll get there after. So I'm going to take the lightest color in the palette and just apply that all over the lids. This is a good time to add some primer if you need it. And I'm going to apply this all over. The whole point of this look is just so that in photos you kind of have some shape to your face, but you don't look overdone. My thought process behind it is then when you're looking back on it a few years later, it's not like you're wearing kind of like fad makeup or something that would go out of style. You just kind of look like yourself, but better. So I placed that color all over the lids and up towards my brow bone, and then I'm going to place the second color, which is just a warm brown, on my lids. Taking the third color in the palette, which is definitely a cooler tone, brown, I'm going to place this at the outer V of my eye and work it up into just the outer half of my crease. So now that we have a little bit of definition going on, I'm actually going to switch palettes, and I'm going to grab the darkest black color really that I have from this Lolo palette. This is the Laid Bare palette, and the color is Exposed, I believe. Yes, Exposed. And I'm going to take a smudging brush, and I'm just going to dip it in the dark color, and we're going to put this as close to the lash line as possible, just at the outer half. If you worry that you're gonna mess up, you can use a smaller brush. And I'm just pushing it right into my lash line. And this is gonna kind of be like our liner for this look. And to make it soft, we're gonna take the blending brush that we were using before and just go right over it. So you just get kind of a smoky effect. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye and just keep building it up until I feel like I kind of have the drama that I want. All right, I'm gonna grab a smaller brush, but if you were using one already, then just stick with it. And I'm just going to dot this at the outer corner underneath my bottom eyelashes. And then just kind of connect the dots. And this is just adding really subtle definition underneath your eyes. And the best thing to do is just take your fingers. This is what works best for me anyway. And just pull it back and forth underneath your eye so that you get just as soft of a gradient as you have on your upper lashes. I'm gonna grab my favorite and trusty mascara, the Lolo Vegan Black Mascara. And I'm just going to apply this, pulling my eyelashes in the direction that they naturally fall. So keep your eyes nice and wide. I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows, which you guys know is super simple. I just do a little bit of brow gel. But I would look at, photos of yourself and see, do your brows stand out enough? And if you don't feel like they do, definitely try and find a product that you can fill them in with. But for me, this is enough. All right, now that eyes and eyebrows are pretty much done, I'm gonna go back in with my concealer. And this time I'm just gonna put tiny little dots in the dark corners of my eyes. And like I said, really tiny little dots. You don't wanna put too much. And I'm just using my fingers for this because honestly, I think they are the best tool. All right, so now we're gonna add some shape back into our face because we're looking a little bit like a worm with no shape. So I'm gonna grab my Sculpt and Glow palette from Lolo. Jared loved this last week, in case you guys missed that video. Yeah, he was a big fan of the bronze color in here, but we're gonna take far less than he did and just kind of tap off the excess and really softly create just minimal definition. So just starting up at the forehead and working my way to my cheeks, just to the back of them, not coming too far in, just for big sweeping C motions. And keeping these C's really big are just going to add minimal definition, a little bit of color, but nothing too severe. Adding a little bit more color to our face, I'm going to take a trusty cream blush and stick this right on the apples of my cheeks as I smile. Then work it kind of back towards your hairline and just blend kind of as you go, really lightly touching. I'm gonna grab now the RMS palette that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna be using the highlight shade in it, which is really pretty kind of champagne highlight. And I'm gonna pop this pretty high on my cheekbones and then up into my brow bone. Definitely think cream products are good for events because they tend to look a little bit more natural and are harder to see on the skin. So if you're getting up close and personal with people and lots of hugs, lots of kisses, then no one will see any cakiness. And same thing just on the other side, on the really high part of my cheekbone all the way back into a C onto my brow bone. A little on your Cupid's bow in the inner corners of both eyes. Before doing my lips, I'm actually going to set everything. So you have a couple of options for setting. If you're wanting more coverage, then go ahead and pick a colored powder, but if you're just wanting something to keep the makeup in place all day, I would recommend going with a translucent powder that you know doesn't have any flashback. And again, always the rule is less is more. You don't want to have a lot of powder sticking to your face. It just really, really lightly, barely touching my skin, I go over my face in the areas that I want to be set. So you can definitely see how beautiful that highlight is. It just adds a little bit of natural glow to your face and you just look really healthy, as well as the cheeks. They're very understated, but you have a little bit of color and also a little bit of leeway. If you end up getting rosy or something, you're not gonna look super, super bright. For the lips, I would keep it really simple. You can obviously go for a bold color, but for me, the easiest thing to just keep in my bag is a chapstick. You don't have to worry about getting dry lips or anything. So a tinted chapstick is great. This is the Burts Bees tinted chapstick. And this is a really pretty kind of pink color that I personally love. It's kind of like my lip shade, but a little bit darker. All right, everyone, I hope you really enjoyed this makeup tutorial and it's helpful if you are going to an event anytime soon. Thank you so, so much for watching. As I said, next week I'll be doing a review on the Vapour Atmospheric Foundation. I actually have both of them, so we'll kind of test them out and see which one we like better. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss that, or if you want to stay up to date with weekly videos. I post every Friday. I just want to say thank you again for everyone who is subscribing and sending lots of love and commenting down below. I love to hear from you, so I hope that continues. Make sure you enter in the 500 subscribers giveaway. Like I said, super easy. Just head over to Instagram. Everything that you need to know is there. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Thanks again. Bye.